Alright, so I'll assume you already watched the Poison Guide video and know how things go. If you didn't, what are you doing? Go watch it. Anyway, the structuring of this video will be similar to the last, so I won't use any of your precious time explaining it again. Anyway, let's get to the first node. N1, also known as Now You See Me, on cloak use, marks enemies in a 7 block radius, making your dagger do extra damage for a while. So just use your cloak close enough to the enemies and enemies will go boom. N2A shock treatment and N2B finishing cut both do basically the same thing, which is some damage after the N1 mark disappears. The other just does dot and the other does one big blast, nothing too fancy. N3A or gas leak on the other hand is fancy. It spawns poison puddles on the ground for the duration of the cloak's effect, which usually is the duration of the invisibility. These puddles give stats as long as you are standing in them, so try to maximize the time you are in the puddles. N3B, the fifth element, enforces being close to the enemies similarly to N1. With giving your daggers extra damage the shorter times the daggers travel for, and yes, Dirk of Kronos always gets the full extra damage. N4A, also known as Trickshot, spawns 3 daggers similar to the Veil of Shadows, which launches towards enemies after a short while. N4B, named Speedwalk, is a dash similarly to Knight's Rampage node, which activates on cloak use. This one is a bit more tricky to use. Every other node on this list so far has always been a buff with no downside to having it, but this node could literally kill you if you used it incorrectly, which makes a lot of people not pick it. N4C Aftershock is a node which basically gives a big burst of damage based on how much damage you dealt with your dagger after activating a cloak. This synergizes well with N3B, which makes these bursts of damage even stronger. N5A or Salvor's Creed spawns a Shadow Soldier on cloak use to smack your enemies. It's pretty cool but also pretty basic. N5B Shadow Step is where basics gets thrown out the window and we get blessed with this miracle of a node. If you can't tell, this is my favorite node in the whole game. This node gives you infinite double jumps as long as you do a certain command with your dagger. You can make that a triple jump if you combine it with Warthorn sandals, making you able to jump over everything, similarly to using bombs. N6A, also known as Void Legion, gives N5A a lot of flavor with making you summon 5 mini Shadow Archers on top of your one bigger Shadow Soldier. A lot of people enjoy the combo with these two, even if N6B gives more damage, which perfectly brings us to the next node. N6B, or Surprise Attack, just strengthens the N1 node, making it a lot stronger. It is more boring than N6A, but more damage, which makes some people select it. N6C Instant Karma extends on the idea with N5B, making your double jumps do damage by spawning daggers when jumping near enemies. Probably no need to say, but I love using this node, even though it is very, and I mean very janky. Unfortunately for me, it might receive a rework due to this set jankiness, so this explanation might be out of date by the time you watch this video. Well, finally we got past the node explanation, so time to get into the tree combinations. There is only really two main tree gameplay styles with small variations depending on what you want. First, there is full left, which is the most popular tree due to how easy it is to use. While using this tree, just make sure you are within 7 blocks of the enemy when activating your cloak to achieve max damage. If you want, you can select N6B for more damage, but most people prefer N6A. The full right path plays around the double jumps for DPS, but for most people it is too janky. You need to make sure you are within 7 blocks of the enemy when you activate your cloak, and then 5 seconds later make sure you are within 6 blocks of the enemy, all the while doing double jumps to achieve max DPS. Also, your daggers do more damage the closer you are, but in most situations this is something that should be ignored because you can't really play into it without dying. For both trees and for B is an option, but like I explained earlier, it can be quite risky to use in some situations. Well, there it was. All nodes shortly explained and the two most popular tree/playstyles explained. I will mention that some nodes might get some changes in the future, so keep your eyes peeled if something has changed and doesn't match the description I gave it anymore. I will do a YouTube shorts about the change after they go live. Anyway, thank you for watching this shorter video, and I'll see you guys in a couple of months, probably, depending on what update comes next.